So, like I said, my name is Godwin Amuzu. I see myself to be a relationship expert. And when I talk about relationship, I don't only limit it within the scope of romantic relationships, okay? Because there are other core important relationships that comes together to form a healthy society or a healthy nation or a healthy community. So my expertise cuts across relationships in general. And I had a foundation by the name Safe Family, Safe Society. And we simply call it SFSS Global. And our core mandate and initiative is to help nurture relationships, to help nurture healthy relationships in society. We are gradually losing human connections as an individual, especially after this post-COVID era we find ourselves in, where a lot of people are glued to their screens and glued to AIs and glued to technologies, as awesome as these things are. But I believe some of us are doing that at the negligence or at the expense of our everyday human interactions and human relationships. So, as an organization, we just seek to create that awareness to re-echo the fact that we still need that touch, we still need that connection, we still need to be keeping in touch, we still need to be carry on conversations as a society. We believe that healthy relationships can actually serve as medicine to your soul, just like you take physical drug to help your body. The connections you build around you can actually heal your soul. I mean, clinical psychologists will tell you a lot of mental illness that sometimes medical doctors cannot put a diagnosis on them. Large portion of them result from the human connection, the presence or the absence of it. So we believe that you were not born an island for a reason. We believe that the strength of a nation, the strength of a family, the strength of a society or a community is highly premised on the quality level, or let me say, yes, the quality level of the individuals who are involved in this. I mean, involved in the dynamic, involved in community, involved in society. So, our core mandate is to help people, I mean, reignite that connection that we are gradually losing and replacing them with, the AIs and the inanimate objects and the phones and the screens and all of that. So, that is just a summary of what we stand for and what our beliefs are and what we represent. So I want to really thank you. I know how difficult it is sometimes to draw men together to have these kinds of conversations. So for you to be here, we don't take it for granted at all. And I want us to be open-minded. Okay, we are all going to learn from each other. Let's be open-minded. Let's contribute. If you disagree, you can gracefully disagree and also share your opinion and your view. But I believe we are really going to have a good time. Okay. So thank you so much for the audience. Okay, so I want to introduce our counselor, who is my co-panelist, Mr. Bright Komla, who is a professional counselor. Mr. Bright, please, the video and the floor is yours. After introducing yourself, you can zoom in with your session. Thank you.
All right. Good morning. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, loud and clear, loud and clear.
And can you see me too? Let me see.
Yes, please. I can see you. I don't know for the others, but I can see you.
Okay. I'm not seeing myself. Let me see if I can see myself. All right.
Okay.
That's fine. So I'm excited to be here with you. And it's a beautiful morning. A very beautiful morning. I see my boss, Stan. Thank you for joining the meeting today. Just as I've been introduced, my name is Bright Komla. I'm a professional counselor, a member of the Ghana Psychology Association, a co-founder of the Care Bright Institute. For Care Bright, we are more into mental health awareness and treatment. And so that is what we do. I'm excited that my brother and friend Godwin put this meeting together for us. I will try to be brief in my first presentation. Then Godwin would proceed as well, and then we ask the question and we fuse it together. So this morning we are looking at redefining masculinity in the 21st century a relationship. Let me see, I'll not be sharing my screen with you today. Probably maybe I'll share it with my brother who would eventually share with you on the various platforms. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. We can see you too.
Okay. Kindly give me a minute. Let me put something there.
Okay. Guys, please, in the info room, you can share the link with your fellow male friends to also join us, okay? You can share the Zoom link with them so they don't miss out on what we'll be sharing. I may likely not upload this on our social media page because I want us to express some level of vulnerability in this session. So let's feel free. Let's get all men involved and let's have this dialogue together. Okay. Bright, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Mm.
Now, I want to find out from you that did you know that thousands of men have grown up without clear understanding of how to execute their man? There's a lot of collateral damage in our marriages and our families because of this. Now, one thing we have realized over the years is that no man wants to fail, or no man fails on purpose. I don't know if you know that. And so I'm sure that you joining this meeting is an indication that you do not want to fail. But a lot of people go into manhood, into adulthood without preparing for what it takes and how to navigate this aspect of life. Now, the first thing I want you to know is that in pursuit of the good life, most men live a trial of broken relationships. And so there are people, a lot of men who are able to get to the apex of life, who get there without their companions, or who get there without people who they need. And one interesting thing is that when we are in our prime periods now, we tend not to value relationship. And when I talk about relationship, I'm not just talking about a romantic, which I'm going to focus more on today, but also relationship with friends and organizations and others. Because at our primary stage, what we are focused on is to build life and to have all it takes to have a good life. And so many a times men begin to lose the essence of what it takes to build good relationships. So we have men that get into their retirement. They may be still married with their partners, but they get into retirement and they are home alone and they are unable to bond with their children. Their children bond more with their mothers, and the fathers just sit idle in the corner somewhere. Where? Because in their prime years, in the time when they were able to, or they had the chance to bond with their children, bond with their loved ones, they were more focused in providing for the family and trying to have a good life. Now the question is it bad? Is it their fault? That is a rhetorical question for you to think about. Now, I want you to also know that no amount of success at work can be enough to compensate for failure at home. And so you may be successful at work, but it's not equivalent, it's not enough to compensate for the failures at home. I want you to get that, because many people feel that as long as they are successful in their field of work, and I hear you say quite a number of professions in this short meeting. And so people think if they are successful in their field of work, it means automatically it translates into the field of their family life and in their relationship. But it does not work that way. Now, narrowing it to our main theme, that is masculinity. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you? If this was a physical presentation, I would have been asking you questions. I would have been mentioning your name. But because I want it to be a little, should I say, brief, I will not be taking a lot of input. But can one person just share what masculinity means to you. Anyone, just anyone. Anyone. Or what do you understand by masculinity? Or should I mention names? Oh, I just want one. You don't have to be right. You don't have to be technical. Just what comes to mind when you hear of masculinity. I don't want
Okay.
to mention it.
What if someone wants to talk, the person can go ahead. I was just trying to make room for the silence. Okay, so I define masculinity as leadership. That's the word I can use for it.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
Yes, so I define masculinity as assertiveness.
What? Assertiveness?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. That's good. So I've heard two things. So that is good. But I want to state here. I want to state here, based on research, that when we talk about masculinity, it is the set of meanings, listen, assigned to being a male in any given culture at any time. A set of meaning assigned to being a male in any given culture or at any given time. It is not biologically given, but culturally performance that is constantly reinforced and reinterpreted. This is by Kimmel 2000. I'm saying, taking it again. Masculinity is a set of meaning assigned to being a male, and it is given in a culture at a particular time. Meaning that when we talk about it is expectation. Another scholar says, Bruno, he says that masculinity is defined by societal expectations that men must avoid femininity, achieve status, display toughness and aggression, and suppress emotions. I love this definition a lot because that is it. Because masculinity has to do with social expectation that men must align to, and is mostly reinforced and interpreted. But many people don't understand something about societal expectation. Okay. Because there are so many expectations that is given unto us. Now, there's one thing I want to shock you today. When I was rethinking about the theme, redefining masculinity in the 21st century, this is what I want to tell you. There is nothing to redefine. There is nothing to redefine because our ancestors' knowledge came from their ancestors or from their own experience. And so what we call culture is based on knowledge that has been handed over to us. Societal expectation it springs from knowledge from our ancestors and from their own experience that the world shapes us. So it's more of experiences that someone has had some years ago that has shaped us or that is projected into how we are supposed to be. So the world in which our nature was formed is mostly based on expectations of others. And so when we come to masculinity, from my side, I will tell you that there is nothing to redefine when it comes to what it means to be a man in the 21st century. Now, why do I say this? Now, let's take a time travel to the year 1025, 1025, somewhere in Bono Kingdom. That means imagine there was a time machine that came all of a sudden and you had a chance to travel. And you just woke up and you found yourself in a pre-corona African village. Now, over here, you realize that men are basically providers, warriors, and are lineage bearers. And so if you find yourself, or you find yourself in maybe 1,000 years from now, the activities that men do are basically tied to what is expected of them within that geographical area or that particular time. Now, what will be going through your mind if you find yourself in the year 1025 AD in the pre-colonial village, African village? Now, one thing you would identify there is that love is expressed through provision, protection, and obedience to patriarchal customs. So when you carry an idea that had been experienced 1,000 years ago, and you continue to carry that idea to define what relationship is within the 21st century, you begin to miss it, because masculinity is shaped by culture and the time in which person lives. And so you would say, if I ask you what is expected of you in a relationship, maybe some of you will say to buy data, to buy Indomie, to take care. All of those things are shaped by culture and the time in which a person lives. And so if you find yourself living in America, your ideology and your perspective in terms of relationship is different from he who is born in Africa. And even within the geographical location, Ghana, the expectations within the southern part of Ghana in terms of relationship is slightly different from the expectation within the northern sector of Ghana. So what I want you to understand is that masculinity is shaped by the culture and the time which a person lives. Now, in as much as I'm telling you that there is nothing to redefine, because it's more of cultural expectations that exist within our geographical time or the time we live in, it is important to know that for you to be able to live within the society well, you need to be someone who learns, unlearns, and relearns. Because there are certain expectations that have been carried throughout the years up to now. That is primarily what was situated and what was needful within that period of time. And so that is why I love this quote by Alvin. He says that the illiterate of the 21st century would not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. And so for you to redefine masculinity in the 21st century, you need to you need to be open to learning. You need to be open to learning, because the era you find yourself now has different needs. And so you should be able to identify and provide the needs within this setting. And so you can't be in the 21st century and be using rules that your grandfather used some 5 years ago or 10 years ago, because things are changing. And so because things are changing, you need to be intentional about the things or the ingredients you add to the relationships you find yourself in. And so you cannot be living in today's world and be using the rules when your grandfather, when he goes to the farm and he comes back, he crosses his legs and he's expecting something. Or you can't be within the 21st century, be in a romantic relationship with your partner, and you expect your partner to be saying yes, sir, or be calling you every day and be giving you reports. No, you need to have the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn to meet the needs of relationship within the 21st century. So if you pay key attention to the presentation I'm making, I'm dwelling more on masculinity. My brother will be dealing into the relationship aspect of it. But I want to say this briefly, then I hand it over. What do women expect, or what are they expecting from us? In as much as there is nothing to redefine, or in as much as there is more about societal expectation, there are expectations that transit or that are transgenerational. It moves from Adam's time, the pre-colonial era, till now. So women are becoming more achievers, high achievers. And as they are becoming high achievers, sometimes it seems that their taste is changing. Now it is changing because there's a new world we are finding ourselves in. And so our needs, or how we deal and how we deal with things should be different. But there's a fundamental for all women, whether in Africa, Asia, Ethiopia, wherever they find themselves, whether in 7 AD, 2000. I was doing calculation with someone recently. I say, hey, maybe if Jesus doesn't come and we get to the year 2100, at that time, maybe I've died because I don't expect to be in 2120 because it's extreme. Do you get it? And so I'm going to be within this century from the 99 I've been to the 2100. But whether in 2100 or wherever, what do women expect? I want to just give you two, and then my brother will continue with the rest. One is leadership. Leadership in providing direction and guidance. And so, regardless of where you find yourself, who you find yourself with, whether your beloved is learned or not learned, I'm using beloved, it's a Christian term for girlfriend. Sorry, okay. For whether your girlfriend, your woman, your babe, day America, a day wherever your babe day, if they expect leadership from you, she's expecting leadership from you in providing direction and guidance. The next thing she's expecting from you is love. The next thing is what? Love. Now, I will go into love briefly. Now, there is something we call the triangular theory of love. Yes, the triangular theory of love. And it says that love has three phases or three elements. That is one, intimacy, passion, and commitment. Intimacy, passion, and commitment. Now, when we come to intimacy, that is the element of emotion, that is the emotional element. It involves self-disclosure, which leads to connection, warmth, and trust. Self-disclosure. Now, this intimacy here is not necessarily sexual. We'll come to the sexual aspect, but it has to do with emotional connectivity, self-disclosure. And so your woman or your wife or your beloved, your girl, your babe, is not just expecting you to give her money. She wants leadership. She wants love. And within the love, she wants you to be able to disclose yourself, connect with her, be vulnerable. And so if you are in a relationship and you are able to be vulnerable to that partner, please, that is not the relationship that you need, because relationships are steps into marriage or the marriage life. And so it involves self-disclosure, disclosing your weaknesses, disclosing your strengths, your ability to. You should be able to break down, and your babe will put her head past the head, hands through your head, and say, "Baby, don't cry." Those things.
My goodness. My
It's very
goodness.
necessary. It has healing power, serious healing power. And so, if you are in a relationship and you are unable to express intimacy, in self-connectivity, being constantly calling, you see, you have to call now. Thanks to IT technology, we are able to connect with beloveds in South Africa, in Asia. Some of you are in Accra, but your beloved is in Kontonse, and you should be able to connect every day or regular. I don't want to draw because my time is limited. The next thing is passion. So one, intimacy, two, passion. Now, the passion here has to do with the motivational element, and it is based on the internal drive that translates the physiological arousal into sexual desire. So if you are in a relationship and you are not seeing the breast of your partner attractive, you are not seeing the hips of your partner attractive. When you see your partner, nothing moves you. Passion, there is no fire in your belly, and there is no arousal for a sexual desire. Then please, you have a problem. Seek help, because you need to have some sexual desire. When you see your beloved, whether you are spiritual, whether you are a Christian, you should be able to be moved. You should have some periodic arousals. When you see your manhood, you say hallelujah. Those are things that are needed in life. I feel like I'm preaching, but this is a presentation.
Preach it, preach it. Preach it, sir.
I don't follow. And
Yes,
so passion is needed. So if we are in the 21st century and the partner you are having, you are not passionate, there's no passion, then there's an issue. Then there's an issue. Then the next thing within the triangle theory of love is commitment. And that is the cognitive element. And that is the decision to love and stay connected with your beloved, with your girlfriend, with your babe, with your fiancé. These are things that are needed, or those are things they need. And so your lady, in as much as yes, she's learned, she's expecting what? Self-disclosure in intimacy in terms of connectivity. That is self-disclosure, trust. She's expecting passion. She's expecting you to have some sexual desire. Oh, sometimes it's quite interesting when some people feel that you having sexual desires are bad. It's not bad, my brother. It's necessary, very, very necessary. And the commitment, that cognitive part, the decision to love and stay connected. I think I've done a lot of minutes, and the presentation is supposed to be short. So this is what I want to share with you in terms of redefining masculinity in the 21st century. And so don't be shy to fall in love. But one thing I have studied, I'm Christian, I'm Christian biased. But one thing I've come to realize is that the best resource to discover your manhood, in addition to other books, I have quite an interesting collection here. But you could get some beautiful books like Model Marriage, Every Woman. There are books you could get that would help you build yourself for what you are. But one of the best books I'm going to you is the Bible. Thank you very much.
Mm. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well said. So guys, as we are taking the next presentation, if you have any questions, kindly you can jot it down, you can write it down, or you can even send it in the comment section. Then when I'm done with my session, we will now open the floor for interaction and discussion. Mr. Bright, thank you. The presentation has been powerful. Myself, I've been blessed. And it's really a good start for where we are going in this webinar. And I'll be very honest with you. I'll be very frank with you because we are all guys, right? There is no lady here. I've made sure that there is no lady among us. It's the era where love and relationship and emotional intelligence was left for the woman to handle, was left for the woman to learn about, is far leaving our society. That era where, oh, relationship stuff, let's leave it for the woman. Relationship conference, let's leave it for the woman. When it's money, when it's finance, when it's corporate things, then we can involve the men. Then you see the men rushing out. Those era is gradually leaving us. If you are a man in this 21st century, and I'm not saying this to scare you, but you can't adapt yourself to learn things that will help your emotions, help your mental processes, help you to relate with other individuals, especially of the opposite sex. Trust me, you are not going to survive in this 21st century relationship onward, okay? And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this as your fellow brother and as a relationship expert who has seen varying relationships, varying degrees of relationships in this era. We need to man up as men. And I'm going to share certain frightening statistics with you guys to substantiate what I'm trying to emphasize. But I guess the best place to start is from where Bright actually ended, Mr. Bright ended, sorry, that we need to be open-minded. We need to also be interested in relationship stuff. Otherwise, our relationships will not survive because the expectation of the average woman now is far higher than what it was before. Women are expecting us to keep up. Women are expecting us to rise to the occasion. And it is not just women, the system, society in this era is asking us to do that. And that is why I like the progressive definition of masculinity Mr. Bright gave us. Okay, so let's delve into it. Let me ask this question. Because of an intriguing story that happened. So this lady was at the age that she wanted to get married. And she was torn between two guys. Okay. One person was a medical doctor who was temporarily doing his PhD at the US. So this is a real life story. When I'm done, I'll mention the names of the people in this story. Those of you who know these people will know that what I'm saying is the truth. This person, so the first prospect is a PhD holder and is a medical doctor by profession. And he's temporarily based at the US, going through his PhD studies. Eventually, he'll come back to Nigeria. And the other prospect is an individual who I would say is not doing well financially compared to the medical doctor. And he called himself a pastor. He says he's a pastor. I'm not saying I'm friend. Okay. He was now trying to put things together in terms of the church, in terms of his administration. But when it comes to money and finances, there is nothing good to write home about. But he's also good, he's kind, and all of that. So this woman was actually torn between the two and they didn't know what to do because they were all good people, they were all kind people, generous people, and all of that. So she was confused. So she deferred to the mom to help her with the dilemma she found herself in because these are two people and they all have their strengths, but I don't know who to choose. The mom, who was wise, asked one intelligent question, and that set the pace for the lady to make her decision. So the mom asked her, suppose both of them are broke. Suppose both of them are not financially stable. Assume that both of them don't have anything and you have to be the one to take care of them. Who would you go for? So the woman was like, she went quiet for some few minutes and was like, Mom, I got it. Thank you. And eventually she settled with the broke pastor who was now putting his life together and all of that. And this is the modern day Pastor Kingsley and Pastor Mildred. For those of you who are in the relationship space, you should know they are Nigerians and they are doing so well when it comes to their career as professional counselors, marriage counselors. Okay. Eventually, she chose Pastor Kingsley, but Pastor Kingsley wasn't or isn't this Pastor Kingsley that we see now. It was a guy just trying to put his life together. And as I was preparing for this presentation, I was asking myself, what will make a virtuous woman, what will make a godly woman, what will make a sound woman prefer one guy over the other, knowing very well that this one has secured your life because he has the money, he has the wealth, he has a promising career. In fact, he has stepped into his career already. What will make you choose one person who is broke over the other person who is financially stable? And I think it's a question that sometimes I scratch the back of my head when I'm thinking around it. And I believe that hopefully in the discussion forum, we can look into this together. But this enrolling question is that if you were stripped of money, if you were stripped of wealth as a man, if you were stripped of your company, if you were stripped of something that is so valuable when it comes to money and wealth and status, when that thing is stripped of you, what can you contribute meaningful to your relationship dynamic? What will make a woman easily submit under you willingly, not because you coerced or enforced it on her, not because you subjugated her, but she decides by her own accord that even though she calls the shots financially, even though you don't have money right now, even though you are not well to do financially, she's in fact the one providing for the home. So say you are married, okay? She's the one taking care of the children. Where does that leave you as a man? And I want you to think with me. I want you to reason alongside with me because my brother has laid the foundation. So I'll not go into the nitty-gritties. But what value will you bring into such dynamic? What else can you give to such a woman for her to still submit under you willingly, for her to even bring her money to you, for both of you to make the decision on how to use that money? What else can you contribute into the life of that woman? And I'm asking this question because this is what our generation going forward are likely going to be encountering and experiencing in their romantic relationships. Okay. Because women are also being empowered, because women are also doing well for themselves. So you find yourself in a dynamic where a good man finds a good woman and both of them can do life together. But the reason why the man is hesitating is because this woman is doing well financially than he is, or this woman is earning approximately higher than he's earning. So how do we navigate such a situation? And that is why I say the 21st century man is confused. The reason why the 21st century man is confused is because he has been trained a certain way. Tradition and culture, in fact, an expert defined tradition and culture to be peer pressure coming from our dead ancestors. Our ancestors are dead and gone, but they are still pressurizing us with culture. They've built a system within which the man, the masculine man, should operate under. So because of that, this man is confused because you were placed on gear one. You were placed on one phase of life that this is how you are supposed to operate as a man. This is how you are supposed to treat your woman. This is how you're supposed to lead your woman. Just be controlling, be abusive, to speak on top of your voice. Just make the money, be good at what you do, and this man will come bowing down at your knees. But in this generation and dispensation, we don't find that thing going on again. So what else can I contribute to the life of this woman outside of the finances, knowing that she can take care of herself? She doesn't need me to protect her. She can actually protect herself. So what really am I contributing? That is why I say the 21st century man is actually confused, because you are supposed to lead an empowered woman when you are disempowered yourself. The average woman has progressed from tradition into contemporary times, where they are doing so well for themselves that what was traditionally ascribed or subscribed or defined for the man to do, the average woman can also do that. So when that happens, how can you, a disempowered man who is not willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn, be able to lead this contemporary woman who can provide and protect herself? That is where it becomes a dilemma. The model of masculinity, the model of marriage and leadership, as given by our ancestors and our forefathers, is no longer relevant in today's century, in today's romantic relationship. Trust me, and I'm speaking by experience, it is no longer relevant. And that will make you understand why a man will leave a woman who is doing well for herself to go and be with another woman that he can have direct control and power over, because he doesn't want to be control of power, or he doesn't want to be any discussion surrounding, but you can do this and I can also do this, so why not we come together as partners to work things out? No, he wants to be calling the shot all the time. So he will leave a woman who is doing well for herself and rather go and be with another woman who is not doing anything for herself, because he wants that control, because he wants that power. He doesn't want there to be any usurping of authority or leadership. So that model is no longer working in our 21st century. And I'm going to share intriguing statistics with you. Only 38% of single women are actively looking to date this century, versus 61% of single men. So when we are comparing the average woman to the average man, only 38% of women are actively looking for a relationship or want to settle down in marriage. But 61% of men, they want that partnership. But the reason why the numbers, because before, if I was to share the statistics with you 10 or 15 or 20 years ago, it would have been the opposite, that women are rather the ones looking for relationships, romantic love here and there, and the women are standing aloof because it's about money and finance and power and status. That is all that they need. But right now, because the average woman, I'm saying average, okay, because the average woman can take care of herself now, because the average woman is not sold as a piece of equipment to the man to take care of her and her entire family, she doesn't see the need to want to be in a relationship or marriage, because whatever it was that the man could provide or do for me, I think I can do it now. So until the man can prove to me that there is something beyond the provision and the protection he can do, I decide to stay single. I decide to play around. I decide to have fun, but to be committed to a man who can do exactly what I can do for myself, it doesn't really make sense to me. So Morgan Stanley also projects that 45% of women aged 25 and 44 will be single by 2030. And this is like 5 years ahead of us. And the reason that is so is because the women are asking the men, what else do you have to give? What do you have to bring to the table outside of the thing that societally you were ascribed to do? In England and Wales, it is recorded that almost 40% of adults have never married. For women who are aged between 30 and 34, the figure is now almost 60%. Because men are gradually losing their relevance, they are gradually losing their identity, they are gradually losing their esteem, their confidence, and their assertiveness. Because what was ascribed to me as a man to be done, to keep me going, the average woman can do that. So I feel displaced, I feel left out, I feel kept at the back of the burner. I feel I can't contribute meaningfully to 21st century relationship because the only gear I was taught to drive in the car was gear one, was only phase one. So to move the gear to 3, 4, is becoming a problem for me. And that is why Mr. Bright rightfully said, if you're not willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn, you are definitely going to be kept at the back burner. Women initiate roughly 70% of divorces, showing a greater willingness to exit marriages that are unsatisfying than men are. For men, if you are sexing them, you are giving them good food. In the old generation, that is it. They are good to go. But you see, the women are asking for more. And 70% of them will initiate divorce because they feel a sense of dissatisfaction in the marriage or the relationship dynamic. Again, what can you provide? What can you give as a man beyond what was traditionally ascribed to you to be given? Okay. 30% of women are likely to end or exit the relationship or marriage the moment they begin to earn higher than the man. This is what the statistics are saying. There is a 30% chance that the moment she thinks she's earning higher than you, Oga, I'm done with you because your only relevance, so far as I was concerned or we were concerned, was for you to provide for me and probably extend to my family. But I think I can do those things now. I can take care of my children. Why are there higher rates of single homes in our dispensation? Most of them is not because they are divorced. That is why they are single moms. It is because they have decided that they are not going to get married, but they are going to let a guy impregnate them, or they are going to do these medical ones that will not directly involve a man just to get married. I'm sorry, just to give birth. And that is it, they are done. Because they don't need you in their lives because they are not seeing the value you are bringing into their life outside of providing and protecting them, which of course they can do now. So I believe that these are questions that we should be pondering on, hopefully. The reason why a woman will leave this dynamic when she's earning higher than you are is because, number one, she was already dissatisfied in the relationship or marriage, but she didn't have the economic power to leave. And that is why, in the times of our fathers in the medieval ages, it was easier for us not to see the divorce rate skyrocket because the woman has nowhere to go. There is no economic power. The man is the one calling the shot financially and economically. So if the woman is supposed to leave that dynamic, then it's going to be a hard time for herself and her children. So because of that, she had to forcefully stay in that marriage dynamic. So because the man thinks that he calls a shot financially, there is, that power, that negative sense of authority and power that we think we can exert on the woman just because we are calling the shot financially. So if you are in such a dynamic with a woman and you are suppressing her and she finally gets the means, and why wouldn't she leave if the thing to give her the power to leave has not been provided for her? These statistics, we may take maybe the whole day to delve into it, but because of the brevity of time, so we need to move forward. Now, before I bring my conversation to an end, as we are pondering over these things, I want you to understand that your leadership or your masculinity as a man can be utterly despised depending on your choice of a partner. You can be a good man, you can be a kind man, but if you are not careful with the person you choose as a partner, it has the propensity to tramp your self-esteem, to damage your masculinity, and to affect your keen sense of worth, confidence, and assertiveness. What I'm trying to say is that I'm talking about masculinity. And as a relationship coach, what I've seen over the years is men who were doing well for themselves, men who were confident and assertive, but they find themselves in a dynamic with another woman who was not good for them, who was not the right fit for them. And by so doing, it affects their self-esteem. It affects the level of belief and confidence they had in themselves before they even started this journey. So as a side note, I just want you to understand there are certain kinds of women that as your coach, as your expert, I wouldn't advise you to be in a relationship dynamic with them because they have a way of affecting your masculinity. The first kind of a woman is a woman who doesn't believe in you. See, yes, the truth is that you must first believe in yourself, okay? So that you can, sell that idea. So if you're a woman who believes in yourself, you believe in you are confident, you believe in your identity, your worth as an individual, as a man, it has a way of affecting how your partner also looks at you or sees you positively, okay? However, there are certain choice of women, or there are certain women that you will choose as a partner, as a male, as a man, that will go a long way to affect you. Because eventually, if this woman doesn't have a certain level of confidence in you, if this woman doesn't trust you, if this woman doesn't have a certain level of belief in you, in your potentials, in your decision making, in your leadership, in where you are and where you are going, where you are headed in life, it is actually going to affect you thoroughly. It's going to have a damage on you. Can she be able to hold it together whilst you are trying to put yourself together? And I'm not trying to say that if you are broke, enter into a relationship. But yes, you have a vision and a purpose. It hasn't yet been actualized. But can this woman actually believe in this vision? Can she come together to support you and hold you together sometimes financially? Because she believes so much in you. She believes so much in your direction. She believes so much in the guidance you are providing for her, for the relationship and where you are going in life, that she decides to stick together with you through the thick and thin because she knows that you are on a journey. You are actually on a purpose. You are actually going to actualize the things that you have envisaged for yourself. And whenever I'm talking about a woman who believes in you, it always comes to mind that a lot of great things we see men do are actually inspired by women, but we don't see it because they are mostly in the shadows. They are mostly behind the scenes. One of the greatest thing your woman can tell you is that, Godwin, I believe in you. I believe that this vision will prosper. I believe in the guidance and the direction you are giving to us. And I believe that eventually these things will work out. Don't be discouraged. Let's push on. Let's forge on. That is one of the greatest things a woman can actually tell you. And it always reminds me of this great comedian who is a national bestseller comedian. He's actually a Christian comedian. In fact, if it wasn't for him, I don't even know that Christians can actually be based in Christian comedy. And the things he jokes around and make fun around is purely within Bible, but he's doing so well. And he has done this comedy. I want you guys to check it out on YouTube after this webinar called Marriage is Major Surgery. His name is Marcus D. Wiley. I don't know if some of you know him, Marcus D. Wiley. And this comedy was around marriage is major surgery. And in this comedy, he was telling a story of how he met this beautiful woman who was doing well for herself financially, and he was not doing well for himself. In fact, this woman was actually working in the corporate space. He was not doing anything for himself. But he fell in love with this woman, spoke to this woman, and told this woman that this man you are coming to date right now doesn't have money to even take care of you yet. Yes, I can take care of myself, but not all of us together. But I want you to believe in me, and I want you to give me just 5 years. Let me put myself together for 5 years. And I promise you, I'm going to take care of you, take care of our children. You can decide to resign your work, and I'm going to handle everything. This woman believed in this man so much. They got married, and eventually, after the 5 year mark, her woman has been rendered unemployed, if I can use that word, just because this woman believed in him, believed in his masculinity, believed in his leadership ability, and is doing well for himself. So if you are here listening to me, please make sure you don't endanger your masculinity. Make sure you don't endanger yourself as a man by being with a woman who doesn't believe in you. Number two, a woman who doesn't listen to you. It makes you question your ability to lead as a man. It makes you question your identity as a man, whether you are truly a man, if your subject, if those who are following you can't heed to your advice. And mostly they don't tell you this, but it trickles down in how the children also respond to you. Because if mom doesn't listen to you, will rather listen to her parents or listen to her pastors or listen to other friends, other pals, other than listening to her leader and her man, eventually the children are going to pick up that habit, and they may not render you as someone who is valuable if mommy can treat you this way. So you need a woman who listens to you. You don't need a woman who is aggressive, who is combative and defensive. A woman who sees any little conversation to be fight. We need to declare the winner here. You don't want that woman. You don't want a woman who is controlling and manipulative. You don't want such a woman. You don't want a woman who is hyper independent. In as much as we are talking about women who are doing well for themselves. And yes, as a man who is confident in yourself, definitely like myself, I'm with a woman who is independent. I'm with a woman who is a high earner. She's a high achiever. She's doing very well for herself. In fact, when I do a little projection, I know that she might definitely earn higher than I'm doing in the long run, right? But then again, you don't want someone who is also hyper independent to the extent that she doesn't see your value in her life. She doesn't see the role that you are even playing in her life. She doesn't create that space for you to also see yourself to be valuable and contribute wholesomely to the relationship dynamic. Because the kind of woman the extreme feminist is raising in our contemporary times is the woman who has ill intention towards the average man, who is having issues with the average man. So with such a woman, she wouldn't even give you the platform for you to even love her. She won't give you the platform for you to make decisions together as a partner. She wouldn't give you that chance. And that is not the kind of woman you want. And again, of course, you don't want a totally dependent woman who must be begging at your feet and must be beckoning on you all the time. No, but you want a woman who is independent, but not one who is hyper independent to the extent that you begin to lose your relevance in that relationship. And that is why the average man will leave such a woman and go and look for a beggar. Excuse I'm putting it in parentheses. Or go and look for a beggar somewhere that they think they can contribute meaningfully to. So you don't want a woman who is also hyper independent. You don't want a woman who is bossy and controlling. And these things are not spoken about a lot of time because the average man doesn't want to share his weakness. He doesn't want to share the challenges he's going through. He doesn't want to be vulnerable. As a result of that, a lot of men are kept in these dark seasons. They are kept with a woman who gaslights them, who makes you lose your relevance, your worth, and your esteem, who doesn't see any role you are contributing to her life and will rather gaslight you, rather will boss you around and control it just because she thinks she has an advantage over you. You also don't want that kind of woman. Finally, you don't want a woman who is negative and talks you down. All these 6 points I've listed are the reasons why some men are doing good for themselves, but they find themselves in a dynamic with another woman who will actually tear you down just because you were not conscious of the person's character, you were not prayerful, you were not discerning to know whether would this woman fall within these 6 and more categories that I've shared with you. I'll conclude on this. What is masculinity all about? And I wouldn't be able to explain all this, okay, but we will leave that for the conversation or another time. But what is masculinity all about? It is about being a comprehensive man. That is how I define masculinity. Being a comprehensive man, being the man that the moment demands of you. So if you were in the medieval ages, you were the man society expects from you. If you are in this era, in this 21st century, you are the man that society expects from you. You are the man that the woman expects from you. You need to be a comprehensive man. Don't allow yourself to be fixed in gear one when you can actually do more. Don't allow yourself to be shielded or to be kept within a particular jurisdiction when there's actually more that you can do for yourself, do for your partner, do for your community and your society at large. We've only been kept at provider, protector, provider, protector, provider, protector, but that doesn't define masculinity. It's not about aggression. It's not about being controlling and manipulative. It's not about being abusive. No, it's about being the man the moment demands. For those who are Christian, the Bible says you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You can do all things. It's not only about the providing. It's not only about the protecting. It is not only about bringing roof, giving your family roof or shelter. You can actually do more. And that is why I define masculinity as working in your masculine traits or features whilst you are tapping into your feminine qualities. Like I said, if you want to be the man the moment demands, if you want to be this comprehensive man, you can't be fixed in the job description or the role that were assigned to you, that were assigned to our forefathers. No. You need to tap into a lot of qualities. And this answers why a woman who is doing well for herself will leave a man who is rich, a rich dude, and will still choose another man who is visionary, who is purposeful, who has a plan, who is a man with a plan, a man with a vision, because she sees something beyond provision. She sees something beyond what you can bring financially. And mind you, I'm not saying money is not important. Hell no. We need to make money. Because again, the statistics read that 70% of women still considers the financial income of a man before deciding to be with the man. Okay. So even though we are shouting about yes, money, but it's not all about money and all, but yes, money is equally important because 70% of women will still choose you based on your financial stability. Okay. However, money is not the only thing that you can actually provide. This is why a woman can be calling the shots financially, in the home, and will still decide to willingly subject herself under your leadership because she knows you are bringing more than what money can provide. Because she knows you understand that whether you are the one bringing the money or she's the one bringing the money, it is a unit. We are coming together to build this home and this family. So she's willing to still submit, even though she's the one providing financially, because there are other qualities like being the provider. And even the provision, you don't only provide money, you provide other important things like let's even come to the protector. It's not only about physical protection where you build your muscles. Very important because it gives the lady a sense of security. Protection, provider, it gives the woman a sense of security. But are you only protecting her physical space or you are protecting her mind? Are you protecting her emotions? All these things come together to form this protectorship that a lot of people don't talk about. Like being purposeful, being visionary, like being a spiritual leader, like caring, and you yourself being emotionally safe because she wants to be safe with you. And if you are always whining all the time, you're experiencing emotional outbursts because you don't know how to process your mind and express yourself in a calm, loving way. There's going to be a problem. So this is where time will permit us. Hopefully, if we should have another session, myself and Mr. Bright will break down all these qualities together with other qualities that I think men should start learning. I put up a post 3 days ago, and I said one of the best compliments a man in today's generation can receive from a woman in today's generation is not only the fact that you can provide and protect, as good as these things are, but that you are emotionally intelligent, that you can reason with their emotions, that you can get them, you can care for them, you can cater to them, you can understand them. You yourself can be vulnerable. You know how to express your emotions in a loving and a kind way, and not only resulting in outbursts and aggression. And she's just scared because you are not providing her with that emotional safety for her to trust in your leadership, for her to safely rest on your bosom because she knows I have a man who is not only willing to protect me physically, but she is there to protect my mental space and to protect my emotion. That is the masculine man that this 21st century generation relationship is looking for. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Excellent, excellent. So, Mr. Bright, can we have you back again? So we are going to pause here for questions. So we are now coming to have the interactive session. Okay, we should be off. It's a 2-hour session, so by 12 o'clock, we should be done. So we are going to use this 52 minutes to have this dialogue. Even if there are things we didn't share within these short spaces, you still have some things to unpack, questions to ask, contributions to give. Feel free. We are here to learn from ourselves. So, Mr. Bright, any short thing for us before we open up there? Maybe if you want to give some few comments on what I shared, then we can go on with the question and answers.
Well, I would say that your delivery was right on point. And so once again, in this 21st century, we need to have a teachable spirit, the willingness to learn, unlearn, and relearn, and that we can't use the traditional way of managing the home or managing relationship to do what we are doing now. That is why I would always recommend people go to the professional, that's the professional therapists, mental health professionals, so that they give you not just things they think is supposed to be done, because the typical traditional counselors in our churches, in our homes, usually tell us the ancient days wisdom. That's what they share with us. But in this dispensation, we need to learn to be open-minded, ready to learn, unlearn, and relearn. I can't overemphasize on this point because we have the new woman, and having the new woman, we have to prepare ourselves to be the new men that they need. And so I'm excited that we have this participant join. I think we had over 20, some have left but I'm sure it's a blessing to them. And I'm excited to hear their contributions as well.
Powerful. Thank you, sir. So, guys, the floor is open. Okay, Christopher, you've unmuted yourself. Do you want to share or ask? Okay, Christopher, you've unmuted yourself. Do you want to share? So, guys, if you have any concern, questions, I think there are some few questions that was taken from the registration that was done, but I want us to have that dialogue. Those of us who are here, when we are done, then we'll look at those questions. But Mr. Emmanuel, you can flow.
Hello.
Yeah, but please amplify your voice a little.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. When you started, you talked about how family is very important, and most of the times the man is left out
Oh,
because
please, we are struggling to hear you. We are struggling
he's
to hear you.
looking for. Can you hear?
Yeah. So we can hear this one. The can you hear? We can hear, but as you continue, your voice comes down.
Okay, I said when we started, people were like, family is very important, and then most of the times the man is left out because he's always looking for ways to provide for the family and those. And then, so how would a man bond very well in this 21st century with his children, his wife, and everybody left?
Okay. I think I got the question. So, Mr. Bright, maybe you can take this one because you give. So he's asking that if the man is supposed to cater for the house, he's supposed to work hard to fend for the home, how will he be able to do that and still make time to bond with the family so he doesn't do one at the expense of the other?
So one key thing is being intentional.
Okay.
Just be intentional. The within the family context, we realize that the women or the wives know the capacity of their husbands in terms of financial capacity, even emotional capacity, they know. But when the intention to try, the intention to be there speaks volumes that just saying you can't make the time. And so your gateway to doing this is being intentional and knowing the effects, the side effects of not being intentional. And so if you are here, you have a partner, maybe you have found this lady who is doing so well, you like her character, she's carrying traits you want to see in your children or your home. And maybe she's requesting for attention and stuff. Those are things you need to be intentional about. You cannot say that they're meant to make that they be a friend that they don't can you can't be the typical man, the ancient man. You should be the modern man who is ready to adapt, who is ready to learn, who is intentional about it. And so when they see intentionality, they begin to get connected to you, even in your absence. I've had interactions with some children of preachers, and we know how sometimes some preachers are. They are not available. They move from places to places, all sorts of stuff. But one person spoke to me of how intentional the parents are in terms of even when they are not around physically, and it has to do with something that is very important to that person or that individual. The
Mm,
both parents would phone in and the both parents would have the interactions with them.
mm, mm. Okay, I think he's gone off. I think he's gone off. Yeah, says we'll get to you. Okay, Mr. Nyakun, we'll get to you. So I think basically to answer your question, Emmanuel, like what he has said, you need to learn about these things. It's unfortunate that when it comes to these seminars or these conferences, it's mostly the women who are here to learn, but the men are nowhere to be found because they are busy making money, which is good and important. But you need to also make time for some of these meetings. You need to make time to read emotional intelligence books. You need to read books on relationships. It will help you understand your wife. It will help you understand your partner and what they need from you. Now, the simple, easy way is if you are in a relationship, talk to your partner. Ask them how you can pour into their needs, how you can pour into their emotions. I'm telling you, the average woman, when she finds out that you love her genuinely, that you care for her, that you are chivalrous, that you are there to support and to serve her, oh my goodness, she will do anything for you. I know that by experience and from the relationships I've counseled. She just wants to know that you are there, you are present, you are vulnerable with her, she can feel your heartbeat. She knows what you are going through. You know what she's going through. When she's asking for attention, you need to carve out time for her to give her that attention. I'm telling you, these things may look girlish or feminine, but we can't survive as men okay, except you don't want to be in a relationship forever. You won't marry. That's why your case is quite different. But you are still interacting with women, okay? But you need to create that time. You need to create that vulnerability time, that quality time for both of you to talk on earth some of the issues you are going through as a man. Okay, if you are telling me that she can't handle it, she wouldn't take it very well, she will come back and use it against me, then I don't know why you are in that dynamic with such a woman. So I'm talking with the woman who will give you that space, that open space for you to talk and share your concerns and connect with her at an emotional level. So read books, go for relationship conference and seminars like what we are having. We even have one coming on the last Saturday of this month. Join. Let's see you learn. Let's see you open up and learn. Talk to your woman. Just tell her in listing 5 things. What are the first 5 or 3 things she wants you to be doing for her? She has a lot. Just ask her to share 3 or 5 with you. She will tell you what she wants from you. Okay. Mr. Nyakun, please. I'm not able to mention your first name. I'm struggling. So please, the floor is yours. You raised your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something concerning the topic that was. I learned something recently and I wanted to share with all of us.
Okay, okay.
Uh, I was in a car at the moment, like for some time. That's why I dropped my questions in the chat box, but thankfully
Okay.
I'm back again. So
Oh,
what
okay.
I wanted to say is if you are in a relationship, say a man and a lady, and
Mm,
there's a distance between you and
mhm,
you have in the dynamic as well, there is something that helps. Like you shared, if you are a man who is seen as reliable and accountable,
mhm,
the woman can feel in for you.
mhm,
So the woman knows you and the woman can vouch for you. Now
mm,
there is this issue where it looks like men are outside or men are far away, and then of course they have to hustle and make money. So in the
mhm,
event where you are not closer to home,
mhm.
there is a simple thing that can be done. Your
Okay.
wife or your lady can constantly remind the kids, that is if you are absent, that there
Mhm,
is a father somewhere hustling for them. There is a father somewhere who loves them. And
mhm,
basic things like that keeps a certain expectation in the kids, looking
mhm,
forward to see that. So they know that they are growing up in a dynamic where there is a present father who is
mhm,
currently away because he loves me, so on and so forth. So in the
mhm,
same event where you feel like you are hustling, say you had the opportunity to go outside and
mhm,
your girlfriend, your beloved is still in the country, some of
mhm.
these little reminders, their schedules there are more rigid than ours here. So
Yeah.
genuinely, you may not have all the time, but these
Mhm,
little reminders can get them know that yes, indeed, he's here. He has my best interest at heart, and there's
mhm,
happening so we would have that relationship, that successful relationship going
mhm,
forward. And again,
mhm,
I agree with the point you made that we need to learn.
mhm,
Like the generation is 21st. We started
mhm,
from the first. We are like 20
mhm,
generations beyond the
mhm,
first. And
mhm,
you can't be implementing things that was done in the first century and hope to succeed in the 21st century. So the learning is very key, and men must be vulnerable. So that ends with my question that I asked. I think we can address it here since I'm home now.
Okay.
When it comes to vulnerability, that is where some of these things play out, because
Okay.
if you know you have needs, you have wants, you have limitations, and you don't communicate the limitations, whoever is in the relationship with you will see you as, oh, this guy has everything figured out and we can ride and so on and so forth. But when you begin to communicate to the extent that you are mentioning your weaknesses and then you're telling the person your limitations, it goes two ways. And so that is where I was hoping to seek some clarity. If you
Yeah.
have an emotionally intelligent person, the person will know that this is my boyfriend venting, so as a coping mechanism to replenish some energy and then go again. And if you have somebody who is emotionally unintelligent, the person will see you're breaking down and you're being limited and vulnerable before her as a man who has lost it and knows like he has lost it. So there is no masculinity in this guy. This guy is a feminine, like he's too feminist, not feminist, but feminine.
Feminine. Too feminine.
Good. He's too feminine. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. And he's too feminine. And I can't date a feminine. That would be a lesbian relationship. So I am out of here because I don't think my man is man enough. So in this case, where do we strike the balance? Like, where do you draw the line? And I want to be vulnerable and I can go all out and be vulnerable, and then I will not be misconstrued or my thoughts will not be blown out of proportion. So I think this is also another challenge that some men are facing in this generation. And when we come to seminars like this and we are told to go out there and be vulnerable to our partners, this is how it can also go. So if you have a suggestion to give to
It makes
men in
sense.
this, yeah, that's
That's
my full.
powerful. That's powerful. I'll let Mr. Bright come in a jiffy, but I was having this conversation with my beloved 5 minutes before we started this this webinar. And I was telling her that I think society has not been favorable to both genders, okay? Because the average man is taught to man up, not to share vulnerability or not to share his concern, because vulnerability is a sign of weakness. When you tear before your partner, he will never respect you, okay? So society, men are carrying that idea, that philosophy. At the same time, the women have also not been taught that when a man is vulnerable with you, he is actually trying to replenish. When a man is vulnerable with you, it doesn't mean you lose your respect for him. When a man is trying to be vulnerable with you, it doesn't mean later in a conversation you bring that same issue he shared with you up. Because that thing is also enforcing why men, aside society, why men will refuse to be vulnerable. Because I did that some time ago, and my partner couldn't stomach it, because the same women in this generation are saying, oh, men, be vulnerable with us, we can take it. But when we just share a glimpse of what we're actually going through with them, they feel they can't take it. So my advice for you is, number one, you can't be dumping your emotional issues solely on your woman. And I'm being honest with you. Your woman can't be the only outlet you have to be unpacking your emotions, especially if yours is a bit traumatic, okay? If yours really goes deep into the psyche, then we need to involve a professional. Because yes, your woman wants you to be vulnerable, but she doesn't want to be your therapist, so to speak, except she's a therapist. But that one again, emotions are involved. So my advice to our fellow men is, let's talk to a professional. Now you may say I can't afford it and all. Mr. Bright is here. He can discount his service to you. He can reduce it as much as possible because you are here. I'm putting it on him. Okay. And he does that very well. Mr. Nyako is also one. He's a clinical psychologist. These two men are here, and if any of you falls within this category, we can negotiate for you to see these people, or if we have to refer you, we'll do the referral and make sure that it is subsidized for you. So you don't give the excuse that we are hustling for money to take care of our family. You need the but yeah, please, your health is also important. So you need to unpack these things with a professional so that the ones you do with your woman wouldn't be so heavy for her not to. Because don't forget, she's also going through her own issue. And because men have suppressed a lot over the years, the moment we begin that we are going to unpack, it may be too heavy for them, and you may misconstrue that to say, you see, the reason why I didn't want to be vulnerable with her, because I was vulnerable with her, and look at how she took it. Sometimes it's because the event is too traumatic. She may not have the power to stomach what you are going through. That's the first thing I'll say. A professional will help you. Number two, We also must learn not to cross the line into being seen as feminine by our own action, okay? And our advice again, I may be biased, but our advice again that you should have other important activities in your life as a man that can also help you replenish and refuel. So your woman becomes a part of these things. So, for example, guys love going to the gym. Guys should have this guy to guy or men conversation like we are having now, because a lot of male friends defer to me to share certain issues they are going on with me. I don't give them solutions because at that point they are not talking to a counselor, they are talking to a fellow male friend. And after they are done, they're like, Godwin, I felt so good. Thank you for listening to me. I didn't say anything. So you see, if this such a man is now going to share this same concern with a woman, he has unpacked a bit of it with a fellow man, with a recreational activity he enjoys, having cave time. Cave time is not things that we even approve of in our generation, but I think it's also very powerful. Your cave time can be time alone to meditate, time alone to pray, time with your other male friends. I have those people in my life a lot. Even playing football. I love playing football. There may be certain hobbies and interests that you have as a man. Please, for you not to put so much on your partner, learn to use these things to help, give the level ground so that at the point when you are talking to your partner, you wouldn't go tilt to the other side of the pendulum where Charlie, your woman can't, bear what you are going through. So to answer it, I'll say yes. Society has not been fair to both of us. Society has not taught the women to create that space for us and not to react in a negative way when we unearth our issues to them. Society has also not taught us to, learn. There is a way you go about it. Sometimes I can have a misunderstanding with my partner, and instead of me to lash out and to be aggressive like the average man would do, I speak her language. I'm like, maybe I understand with this tone because I'm speaking her language. The average man will be aggressive, raised on top of your voice. Those things doesn't work. I'm like, maybe I understand. Um, Maybe it's because I'm not working now, or because I don't have enough money now, and because I've been raised that way. So it's affecting and tramping my esteem. That is why I see you to be a threat. That is why it is obvious that I'll come and lash out on you and all. But I think I get it. If you have this scenario conversation with your partner, I'm not talking about the 6 traits I listed. Please make sure your lady doesn't find herself in those categories. If she's a good woman, and you communicate an emotional language. Just like when we advise women when they're talking to men, they should speak logic. In the same way, we also advise men when you are talking to a woman, speak to her heart, speak to her emotions, and she will get you. But please make sure if it is so much, get a therapist involved. Secondly, make sure you are engaging in hobbies and interests that can, replenish and refuel you. Then your partner becomes a part of the equation. But it shouldn't be that she's the only point of reference when you are going through your trauma or you are going through your issues, that you are always dumping on her. At the end of the day, she can't be your therapist. Okay. Mr. Bright, over to you.
All right, thank you. I think you have. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, I think you have highlighted a very essential thing. Just to add up, I just want to re-echo what masculinity is defined as societal expectations. So there are expectations that we are pushing it on you, and so you need to know what your capacity is and what is not. So that's one key thing. Now, this is where uh, selecting a partner is very important. So how you select your partner is key. Yes, there's a need for sexual attraction, but these are indications you should pay key attention to. If it's a relationship that is more for the sex and more for the pleasure, then that's fine. But if it is one that you want to proceed into marriage, have a home and have all those things, then you need to pay key attention to some of these qualities. So when you are looking for certain qualities such as this, a partner that is able to understand, is emotionally intelligent, all are these things you need to pay attention to. So probably you have made a decision already. So there's no way you could say, you have journeyed for a very long time. Now, this is one thing you could add to your relationship, that is developing yourselves. So as you develop as an individual, you develop yourselves. So you go for workshops together. There are workshops, I'm sure SFSS will be doing more workshops. Kebright and the others will do more workshops. You engage in workshops physical workshops to learn. And so if learning is going parallel, you're all learning together, then the development is also going together. But when one limits his relationship to just sexual pleasure, just the fun, going out, going to party and all of those things, and are not preparing themselves for the marriage life, then there's an issue. And so that's what I want to highlight for you. So the both parties should be intentional, because just as you are saying this, there are also expectations he has. And so you need to learn to match it together. So when the two people are doing this together, they'll be able to make progress. Thank you.
Powerful, powerful. Mr. Nyako, that was a profound question. We need to train both genders, so it's very powerful. And please, like you said, your choice is very important. I'm blessed with a woman who I call her my mini therapist because whatever it is, she has created that safe space for me to easily unearth without judgment, without rebuttal, without crossing your lines. She just wants to listen and see how she can handle situations going on, because she knows when she uses this particular word, it turns you off or it affects you in a way. So she'll make sure she doesn't use that word again. Charlie, just make sure you are choosing the right person. And if you want to know whether this person is right for you, then you can reach out to me. We can go through some sessions. Okay. I'm all about relationships. Okay, powerful. So please, any further question? Any further question? We have about 29 minutes more to go. And at the same time, we are also inviting you to this mega conference we are having on the last Saturday of this month. And it's going to be in person. We are doing it at TBC, Trinity Baptist Church, opposite the UPSA, adjacent the Fidelity Bank. We are meeting there. We have guest speakers around to speak to us on the topic of enduring heart, which speaks volume into relationships, navigating it in this season. Mr. Bright will be there. Myself and my team, we are organizing this. So it's all part of what we are talking about. You need to be around. You need to be in such meetings. Let's learn. Let's grow together. Because the woman will go and learn and come and put the expectation on you. So be there so that you can also learn and also know what to expect from her. So please, further questions. We have about 29 minutes more. It's a dialogue. Let's talk. Let's talk. Okay, I want us to talk. Any contribution like Mr. Nyako did, any question? Let's talk. Okay.
Can I talk again?
Oh, boss, feel free. Please,
Sure,
if you
thank
can't
you.
talk and you want to type, you can type in the comments section. Okay, I'll read it out.
All right, let us do my chairman's presentation earlier. Our professional counselor.
Okay.
He made he said something concerning culture, and then he emphasized the need to stick to masculinity and not necessarily redefine masculinity. So I think as he was presenting, I was just writing something down, and it looks like the 21st century appears as a culture to me, if you ask me, because
Okay.
ages have changed, generations have changed, and so new ways of doing things. So even in evolution, we are told that there is genetic mutation where organisms pick up new traits to resist the times they are in. So even in our biology, there is a part of us that is programmed for upgrading our life. So in this day and age, when you want to enter matters of relationship and masculinity, obviously other traits may be extinct and others would be learned. That is why I like the fact that he mentioned us to be open to unlearn, relearn, and learn, because these are very necessary. This is going to be what is going to be programmed inside us to catch up with modern trends and then move consistently with the times we find ourselves. So the digital age also presents another conversation altogether. Right now, when you go on social media, there are so many toxic content, especially concerning relationship and marriage life. There was one I saw recently, and I had to text the person, toxic, 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 because it was very toxic. It frowns on masculinity. It throws away the concept of masculinity. It pushes a generation where there's this female empowerment, those feminist arguments, and so on and so forth. So many toxic things that when you hear it's going to make you sad. But this is the generation we find ourselves. And then people will come up with so many arguments and then you're asking yourself, where do I fall in this place? That is why when we meet as men in some of these seminars and so forth, it's prudent that we educate ourselves, we encourage ourselves to know that, you know what, time has changed, and then we need to also be consistent with the trends. So I go on to say these narratives easily rival what culture presents. Obviously, trends have changed and so on and so forth. And so I believe that masculinity needs to be reiterated so that all generations and cultures can move in the same tangent. So it looks like there's something we were told back in the day. So as intellectuals and as people of the 21st generation, like life has become so easy. There is this caveat I use that you can't be in the 21st century and be a dummy. Like I shouldn't ask a question and someone will tell me I don't know. Because you can't say you don't know in this generation. You don't get to say you don't know in this generation. If you're in a relationship with a lady and the lady is asking you questions, there's one thing I do a lot. And I think I picked that from my boss where I met Bright, where Bright and I worked some time back, Father Tony. You are in the presentation, he will ask a question, and everybody is sitting down and he wonders, do you have phones? What do you do with a phone? So immediately ask a question, he's expecting you to go online and start looking for answers. So if your woman should come to you and say, Honorable, what is this and this and that? Or what does this and this and this? Then you go like, oh, I don't know. And you're scratching your head. I feel like this is a downgrade to masculinity. So as a man, you are seen to be there. So some of these little things will affirm what they hold for you. So if he comes and you're able to say, give me a minute, you look it up and then you give it up. Right now, AI has come. You can just look at the AI, take an AI chat GPT there, you can install it on your phone, type the thing there, get something, get a context and present to the person. They see you as more credible, more reliable. And this is you updating yourself with the times that you are living in. And so this is also a major update. So the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn is very key and very much to this conversation. And yes, culture has given us the foundation. What we can do now is to upgrade on what culture has given to us and align. Back in school, you know that if you're a smart boy, you get all the girls. Whether you are nice or you are not nice like me, you will get you will keep coming and coming to you. Why? Because there is something you have in high demand. Now you're in a home and a woman can come, your woman comes to you with every little issue she has, and you're able to provide answers. This is an upgrade of you. You may not have the resources, maybe money and stuff like you may not have it now, but she sees a potential in you. She sees a future because these ideas you are displaying, when I bank on it, I can get a lot from it. So I believe that yes, the 21st century is a culture on its own. So the foundation that our biology has given to us, the environment we can implement by learning a lot, and it makes us more reliable and more credible, and then we can have stable relationships from there. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Powerful. That also goes to show that it is masculinity for you not to know. It is bravery for you to be honest with yourself that I don't think I can do this. I don't think I'm made for this. I don't think I know this yet, but I'll get back to you, because sometimes in a bit for us to be masculine, like we said earlier, you think everything must hang on your shoulders. So even when you don't know, even when you don't have the skill sets or the resource at that moment, it becomes difficult for you to voice out and say, babe, right now I'm tired. Like I just need a good sleep. Right now I just need some cuddles, or right now I just want to rest. Like right now I'm blank. It's okay for you to say, babes, I'm going through a lot right now and I don't know what to do. That is also masculine. It takes, you see, it takes a higher level of security in yourself for you to be able to do this. But that is just by the way. So someone said some women say they want rough or tough men, and how does this idea affect our understanding of masculinity and healthy relationships? How do I navigate this thing so I'm not considered rude? I think this will come back to this. This will come back to this. Normally, when there is this popular saying that good boys finish last. Okay, people who are kind, they finish last, and that ladies want men who are rough, who are a bit toxic, who are bad boys, who have that bad boy vibe and all of that. Now, before you dismiss that connotation, there is a level of truth in that. And even some of the ladies, they don't know. It's not the bad boy they want. It's not the rough, tough, bad stuff that they want. They want certain traits that comes with being a bad boy. I can list them. Bad boys are confident. Bad boys have a direction for their lives. I mean, they are directed towards a certain goal. Bad boys are assertive. Bad boys are upfront about what they feel and what they think about situations. So those are the traits they are looking for. So if you should ask me, it is not that women want pushovers or women want men who are abusive. There are a certain pocket of women who want that, and they may be having issues, maybe traumas or past issues they need to resolve. That is why they are gravitating towards abusive and toxic men. Okay. However, if the average healthy woman says, I want a tough man, I want a rough man, what she's actually saying is that she wants the qualities that comes with being masculine. So being assertive, being confident, being purposeful, having a direction for your life, being emotionally intelligent. All these things comes together, being a decision maker, okay, because she'll be deferring to you, like our brother Mr. Nyako said, she'll be deferring to you most times for direction and what to do and all of that. So to answer your question, just be masculine. When we say masculine, just look at the effect, the qualities that comes with being masculine. And that is why as a man, I used to gym before, but now I'm not doing it again because of finances and some other few things. But if you need to bounce on the gym, do it. Increases your rate of testosterone. It makes you more assertive. It makes you good looking. It adds value to who you are as a man. Okay, so if you need to bounce on the gym, do. If you need to be athletic, you need to be exercising, do. All these things has a healthy component on your hormones, and eventually it affects your outlook in life. Learn to be having men conversations, because men, this idea of iron sharpeneth iron. Okay, I did a background research on it, and it actually stems from men, being around to sharpen each other, men being around to challenge each other. So you need to find yourself in men's space where you guys talk about ideas, about vision, about plans, and sometimes even about your relationships and all of that. You need to bounce off on your other male friends. This has really saved me a lot. In fact, when my woman came into my life, she was threatened by three things. Okay, and I'm going to be honest and share it with you. She was threatened by three things. Number one, she was threatened by my relationship with God. She knew that. So I'm a Christian. Okay, for those of you who are not, I'm one. She knew that I love God, I fear God, and because of that, there will be that tendency for me to want to spend time with God more in devotion than I'll do with her. It was a concern for her, and I was glad. Number two, she was concerned about my vision and my purpose, because she knows Godwin is so visionary, Godwin is so purposeful that if we don't draw the balance, he will not spend time with me. And I was glad. The third thing was she was threatened by my male association, because she knows that Godwin doesn't joke with his male association. Now, not that I make my friends a priority than I do for her, but coming into my space and seeing that, she was like, God, purpose, other male friends, will I really fit into his life? So now when she came, now we have been able to draw the balance. But these three things I just mentioned is what keeps me going as a man. Oh my goodness. It's what keeps me going as a man, because my fellow man is challenging me. Charlie, I bought this stocks here. I've opened this business here. I'm doing this here. I'm like, hey, bro, Charlie, tell me, what am I doing for my life? You see, there is that challenge. One thing masculinity represents is being able to take risk and not being afraid of the outcome. That is confidence. Your ability to be wrong, your ability to allow yourself to be wrong, and to appreciate the fact that yes, I missed it here and I need to move on again. But the kind of men we are raising in our generation, they are timid. I'm telling you this as a relationship aspect. Like I said, the COVID era where with our screens and all of that has done a lot of damage. We are going to look at that in another webinar. However, the average man is even afraid to approach a woman and tell the woman, I love you, because he's scared of rejection, because that fear factor has been injected into him and he doesn't have courage. So men are not daring things again. Gone were the days they could face fierce lions. They could go to the bush to hunt for the family. They could go on fishing, and they were not. They had to deal with the sharks out there. But our generation men, we are just afraid to take risk. We are just scared to make bold decisions, to take bold steps. The average man is even afraid to approach a stranger and strike a conversation with the stranger, because what if she rejects me? What if she? It is part of you being masculine. It is part of you being a man. You should be bold. You should chest out, and even when you are hit, you still go and come back again, because that is what you are made for. You are made for more. she has to see that hero in you. And it's not that you are pretending. It's not that when you need to remove that cape, you need to do that and let her know, girl, I'm a man, I'm also struggling. But she wants to defer to you. So until she can see that you are taking risks, you are making mistakes, you are coming back to correct them, you are honest about your mistakes, you are fearful, yet you are still taking the steps, it will challenge her a lot. So I'm just trying to answer your question that men don't want bad boys. They admire the traits that comes with bad boys and the fact that they are confident about their purpose of being bad, the fact that they are assertive, the fact that they are bold to take risk. Do you know then the momentum you need to gather to take a gun and go and rob someone? What are you telling me? The fact that you can be caught and you can be jailed for life. So this is just that there is another era that is pushing toxic masculinity, where they think being masculine means to be aggressive, to be abusive and all. No, Jesus is the lamb and the lion at the same time. So as a man, you know where to roar, you know when to be aggressive, I'm putting that also in parentheses. You know how to be bold, to be confident when the need calls for it. And at the same time, you also know how to be compassionate, how to be loving, how to serve, how to be chivalrous. This it will really shoot you high as a man. But that's just by the way. So, guy, I hope I've answered you. There are certain qualities that comes with being masculine, like being confident, being assertive, being goal-driven, being purposeful, and all of that. And these things are qualities the average woman, no matter how accomplished she is, is the hypergamy theory issue. She still wants to defer to the man up there for leadership and for direction and guidance. So, okay, so please, any more question or any more contribution?
Just want to chip in this.
Mm-hmm.
As a man, right? One thing that can boost your your masculinity is also your self-esteem. The value you place on yourself as a man. And I'm glad you mentioned self-confidence. That is the trust you have in yourself. If you're a man and you don't value yourself, you'll be seen as a nice guy. Nice guys are, of course, we say nice guy finished last. The first time I heard that, I was so surprised because there was this guy who was telling me his story, how he does everything for the person. He's so nice around them, but when it's time for outings and stuff, he's not given an invite and so on and so forth. Should he stop being nice and so on and so forth? And I was like, hey, there are people like this in this world, because I pride myself as somebody who has a very high self-esteem. So
Okay.
I won't be intimidated, especially not by a woman. So growing up, I was very scared of women, not scared per se. I was very shy. I was a shy boy.
Okay.
And then I went to Aquinas, and then it was Tommy First, those frees that they do in school. And then I entered a jams hall. I didn't know what jams was. That's how naive I was back in the day. And I saw my friends, like a woman's ass is on a guy, and we were grinding each other. And I was like, so this is what a jams is. And I don't know, subtly, the respect I had for women dropped. And the next thing that came to mind was, okay, so we are all the same. Since then, I will never be intimidated by a woman. Why? Because everything I thought has been shut down. Now, a man's value on yourself, if you're in a relationship with a lady, and the lady, you're seeing the lady as a threat, as in maybe she's more learned than, man, go and learn some. Match her on that level, and the fear goes away. Ability to take initiative, you mentioned that too. What drives initiative? Confidence, value. You can have all the plans, like you mentioned. You have purpose, you love God, and you won't forgo your boy gang, because that is what keeps you going. This is somebody who knows what he wants. He knows what keeps him going. Let's just imagine that you lose your relationship with God. Your life is not going to be the same. Or say you keep God and you lose your male friend or your male gang. It's not going to be the same. Something will change, will shift about you. So the fact that you're able to, of course, self-awareness also ties into this beautiful equation. As you are putting value on yourself, you need to be self-aware. This lady that I am with, like in the relationship with, is always coming at me in ways I can't defend, or I can't, whatever she says, there's no response I have for her. What do I do? Can I go and read and level up so that when she comes, I can have responses for her, or do I have to leave? So every relationship comes with a challenge. Your ability to deal with a challenge will depend on the value you've placed on yourself and your willingness to change. So I feel like as a guy, as a man who wants to elevate masculinity, who wants to be seen as the man up there, you need to, first of all, evaluate on yourself and make sure you level up. If the woman is maltreating you, make sure you level up. There's this guy I saw recently. I'm just sharing this in case somebody's in a similar situation that you know what to do. He's in a relationship with a girl who apparently has lied to him on several occasions, but he's still with a girl. And then he tells me, well, he can ask the girl for maybe a breakup. And then the girl sends a video of them together in the course of a week. She will go like 2 days without talking to the girl. The girl drops a picture video and he's so in love again. And then they go back. So that is his weakness. And this is a nice person willing to risk it all for the girl. And can you imagine, even when he was contemplating, should I continue with the relationship or not? He had gathered 5K to buy an iPhone for the girl. The reason why he didn't buy the iPhone was because the girl said it was secondhand and she wanted a brand new one. So he had to save 2 extra K to add and get a new phone for her. And that was when he called me. You know what? I don't think I can take it anymore. So I asked him, what has changed this time around? Because from your experience, anytime you say you are not doing, you go back and you do. It was like, I think right now, everything we have discussed, I get it now. And I see that I am just fooling around. Because the grounds for the relationship was already flawed. And so I'm just maybe saying this one too for a purpose.
Okay.
The girl was in a relationship and said she wasn't in a relationship. That's a lie. So the relationship was founded on a lie. And now he sees a similar trait. Another lie has,
because of the time, so please try and summarize it for us, okay?
yeah. So eventually, the relationship ended. So spotting red flags is also something that you can do if you put value on yourself. So you don't remain in a place that you are not accepted. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and it's been a beautiful session with all of us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your assertiveness and sharing this truth with us. Someone also asked during the registration that men can't voice out about the pain they go through. Is there any reason why? I bet we've answered that. Okay, so make sure you you get a therapist to help you. Make sure you have other recreation activities you do to unearth the things you are going through. And for the reason, sometimes it may be deeply seated in your childhood, how you were raised, how you were brought up, your environment, your previous relationships, all these things goes to play. But if it is something that is deep, you can reach out to myself. You can reach out to Mr. Bright's organization, and we will help you. Okay. Someone said, considering the average cost of living in our country, Ghana, would you advise young men, especially their early 20s, to start relationship stuff like dating? My advice is this. It's not even first and foremost about your financial capacity, but I'm concerned about your maturity. Statistically, the younger you date or the younger you marry, the higher your chances of breakup or divorce, okay? But the older, now not in terms of age, but in terms of maturity, but the older you marry or the older you date, the higher your chances of being together because you are more mature. You can stick to your decisions because relationship is not all about love. So when the chip is down and responsibility comes in, can you handle these responsibilities and not break down together with the work you are doing, together with paying attention to other responsibilities? So I'm a bit concerned if you are dating. Again, your 20s is I can't put a figure on it because I don't understand what you mean by your 20s. Is it early 20s, mid 20s, or late 20s? However, the maturity should be there. You should be mature spiritually, be mature emotionally, like we are just discussing, be mature financially. That has to do with not necessarily being rich, but being able to stand on your 2 feet, being able to take care of yourself. Okay. Whether you're a male or a female, you should be able to take care of yourself before we are looking at a relationship dynamic. However, the situations may vary. Because of time, I may not be able to go into it. But it's not really about the money, it's about your maturity. Some are 20 and they're more mature than someone who is 30. By the end of the day, you should be able to make your choice and stick to it through the thick and thin, except it's abusive and your life is at risk. Outside of that, you need to make your decision and stick to it. But for what I know with children, They choose a TV station today, tomorrow they are choosing another one. They choose a favorite car today, they are choosing another one tomorrow. So can you stick to your choice and go through the issues that comes with it? And if you're not financially stable, then get time to build yourself financially, because sometimes your choice of a partner, people don't know this until I open their eyes to it. Sometimes your choice of a partner is highly influenced by the resources you have available or the absence of it. A lot of men, especially, can be in unhealthy situations because the woman is the one calling the shots financially. She uses that to manipulate you in the relationship. You need to be mindful of that. And the thing is that if you were financially stable, you wouldn't have maybe chosen such a woman, but you are looking for, someone who can support you financially. Or it began as friends. I counseled a guy like that. Began as friends. This lady was providing for this guy, supporting her, and she thought, okay, then if this is where we are, then we might as well start the relationship. And that is where he saw manipulations upon manipulations. The lady calling the relationship at her own shot because she's the one providing for you. So have something going on for yourself so that you don't choose a partner based on survival. You don't choose a partner because Charlie, you need to defend at the end of the day, but because you're financially stable. So money is not really an issue for you because you can take care of yourself. Okay. Also, what's your view on a situation where a partner on 2 or 3 occasions tells the other person his or her love for him or her has diminished? What will your advice be? This one I can't know until I know the whole case. I wouldn't be able to advise you on that. So you can reach out on our website at sfssglobal.org. You can send us a WhatsApp message. We'll attend to you. Okay. I think these are the few questions. The other one is, what's your view on a situation where a partner is very enthusiastic in her endeavor, but when it comes to character, not presentable? Of course, which one do you want? Do you want the character or you want the enthusiasm? At the end of the day, the character is what is going to stick with you for life. So you want someone who is good in terms of character. Not that the person is perfect, but they are at least working on themselves. There are 3 stages. Some people use the "we are not all perfect" excuse to gaslight people. Shebi, we are not perfect. Abi, we are not perfect. So you might as well handle me like that. Yes, it's true. We are not perfect, but there are 3 categories of imperfection. Number one, there are the people who are having issues, character flaws, but they don't even know they are having issues. Please avoid them. Run away from them. If you are the one, please let someone avoid you and run away from you. You are having problems. Your mother, who doesn't know your boss, who doesn't know your pastor, who doesn't know your friend, is highlighting or hitting on a certain character flaw you are having, and you are saying that, oh, it's them, it's their fault. Please, you need to sit there and do your homework. If you're having an issue and you don't know you're having an issue, please, relationship is not for you. Number two, if you're having an issue and you know you're having an issue, yet you're not dealing with the issue, relationship is not for you. So if you are going out with this lady or you're about to, and you know she has this character flaws, you are talking about it, she doesn't even know she has the issue, or she knows, but she's not doing anything about it. And those imperfections are too much. The third category you want is those who have had issues. They've dealt with some of them and they are still dealing with some of them. Those ones, they are progressive, they are evolving. They are human being, BEI engine, who are getting better. Not those in the past participle being. This is what my mother taught me. This is what my father taught me. This is how we've been doing things. We used to do it this way. My mother taught me this way. I can't shift GS. I can't do anything about it. You don't want such a partner. You want a partner who can evolve and grow with you. Okay. So if her character is a major issue, please don't follow beauty. Me, I am a high advocate of sexual attraction and physical attraction. I'm high for it, but I wouldn't choose that at the expense of character. I want both. So people say choose character. Don't worry about the physics. Please worry about the physics, but choose character. So both of them can amalgamate together. Okay. So yeah, but make sure that the person's character is in shape. And if you don't know whether this person has some character flaws that you are eventually going to discover, you can visit our YouTube channel at Godwin Amuzu. Just type my name there. You look for the topic on how to discern true character. So when you listen to that teaching, it will help you to discern character, even when the person is hiding it and is shielding it from you. You can discern it. You can know. There are certain limelights or certain points that I gave that can help you discern or know this person's true character, even though the person is trying to hide it. Okay, so it's on YouTube at Godwin Amuzu. You can check that one out. Please, any further question? We have a minute to close. Any further question? So I hope I've answered all the questions that was sent in the Google form. Any further questions? So, like I said, we are Safe Family, Safe Society, and we are all about relationships and human connections. I work together with a team, a strong core 9 team with about 20 volunteers, and God has been good to us. We've done a lot of outreaches in schools, community engagement, and we also do retreats and a lot of conferences around the relationships, whether romantic or non-romantic, and also on personal development. So anything you want to know about us, just visit SFSS Global. Some of you even registered through the platform. So just visit us at sfssglobal.org, and anything you need to know about us is there. But like I said, I want to invite all of us to this mega conference we are having. We are going to have fun. We are going to be play, like we are going to act play, but it will give us that mindset, or the play is based on the theme of the conference. We are going to do spoken word. We are going to have song ministrations and all of that. So we want you to come around and let's connect in person. Let's know you better. Okay. I guess that'll be all for now. Please, any you learned a lot. God bless you. God bless you too, guys. God bless you so much for spending 2 hours of your time and your data with us. We don't take it granted. But some of you didn't talk at all. Please, any closing remarks for us? Raphael, Maxwell, Matthew, Marcus, Junior, Joshua, Felix. Okay, Mr. Emmanuel spoke. Elikem, Courage, Mr. Bless. Oh, Mr. Bless, I thought you were coming to unearth certain things with us. So since you are in that space, I mean, I thought you were coming to give us certain. But we didn't hear from
Sorry. I was caught in another activity along the
Okay.
line, but my
Okay.
voice. Thank you so much for the wonderful work that you are doing, you and the entire team. And the last time I joined a session, and it was a blessing. Today too, it was a blessing. And then
Wow.
the other facilitators. I think one of the things that keep repeating has to do with open-mindedness and then continuous improvement. It has been established, and then the fact that I'm a man, so I'm the head of the family, and then I don't accept anything. We are gradually beginning to position ourselves. But let me share this little experience that I have. I think one of our brothers shared something on you being smart and showing up as a man. I had a friend, a very good friend of mine, and then we live in the same house. And he's not good with IT, anything that has to do with IT, phone setting, anything at all, he's not good at it. So at any time that the lady need assistance, she will come to me. Anything at all that she bring, I'm able to do it for her. So most of the time I sit down and reflect, and I'm thinking about the risk and the dangers associated with that. Of course, I'm a man. My friend is also a man. Let's assume that it's only at tertiary level that there is a gap. But whatever I do for the lady has nothing to do with my first degree, my second degree, or whatever else that I've learned. It's all about you being a man and, let me say, being with men, being in the street, and then learning basic things. But my friend is far away from that. So I was considering situation where people say that, oh, somebody has done something with my wife, because anytime the wife is having any issue, I'm the first person that comes in mind. Not even my friend who is now, they are fully married, who is now the husband. And even until today, anytime she's having any challenge, I'm the first person that she call upon. So I've always been advising my friend that you are missing something as a man. Because for ladies, they know what they can do. It is now that they are fighting for gender equality, whatever. But even that, they still know their boundaries. Every lady know what they can do, and they know what they cannot do. So if what they are unable to do, which as a man you are supposed to do, you are not able to do, then you are lacking something. And that is where we think that the ladies don't respect us. Though there are people who still don't respect you. But I believe that if you're able to live up to your expectation as a man, that respect is going to be there for you. And I've copied it from my father. I've copied it from my elder brother. And I'm living it. It is not pride. It is not, but as a man, you must always be ahead. And then with that well said, it doesn't mean that at a particular point, if you are not able to show up, you will keep yourself for that. No, I do so many things and then I get tired. And when I'm tired, and then my partner comes close, I'm able to tell that no, today when I went to the farm, this is what I've experienced. I'm tired. The fact that I'm a man doesn't mean that when I'm tired, I should kill myself. No. But there are certain expectations that the ladies expect of us. And I will plead with us all to keep on learning, joining seminars like what you are doing now, because these are the things that we need to learn, learning from each other, reading books, upgrading ourselves, and let us trust ourselves that I am a man and I'm able to live to this expectation. Financials come in, work comes in. I mean, expectations comes in, family comes in. I'm not saying that you should meet the expectation of everybody, but as a man, there are certain expectations that is required of us. And I believe that as we are connected and we are following your wonderful teachings and then discussions and then the knowledge that other facilitators are sharing, I think we are on the right way and they will definitely show up. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you too. Thank you too. So guys, there are lots to learn, but time will always constrain us. So like I said, we are on all social media platforms. Just search for my name, Godwin Amuzu. We have loads of content available on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere. We are there because we need to provide this knowledge and make it available for all so that we can all learn and grow together. So hopefully I'll meet you guys on the last Saturday of this month for our physical conference, and I'll connect with you. We'll take some pictures and all of that. So it's happening at 8 a.m. in the morning, and we are giving gifts for those who come on time. Okay, so if you are there exactly at 8 o'clock, then you receive a gift from us when we close the meeting. So you can visit us at sfssglobal.org